stage. Got it. Okay. Can you hear me on here? Can you hear me in the classes? Oh, okay. Okay. So you can hear me. So I'm hoping that I was heard. Okay. So I'm good now. All right then. Shalom, low Christ. Low Christ. Okay. I'm hoping that y'all could have heard me. I'm not sure if y'all heard me or not. You know, I was speaking on what's Israel's motive in this war that you see that's getting ready to come about in Iran, and how Iran has invaded, has shot bombs and drones or whatever into Israel, and has demolished a lot of property and killed people. Okay, so what I was going back to, I don't know if y'all saw it, but this is the book called The Synagogue of Satan. I went through what the programs were, and the word program is the massacre of Jews or of a oppressed people. The programs that they had going was in Russia, and the reason why you see a whole lot of these fake Jews here is because they fled Russia because of the programs, because they were killing them. Okay, they kill their own people. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian get into this school, it's very important. Okay, these wars are because of us, because we're not in our homeland. Our homeland is being bombed right now. Iran sent the bombs over there. That's our homeland. The homeland of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is Israel. See, the real Jews are the ones that are in the ghettos and the barrios and on the reservations. Okay, I went to discuss what the Rothschilds were, who the Rothschilds were. Okay, for those who didn't hear it, I'm going to go back through it. It's on page 9 in this book called The Synagogue of Satan. It says, Moses Amschel Bauer places a red sign at the entrance to his counting house. His counting house is like his banks. These are the beginnings and origins of banks that you see right now. Bank of America, U.S. Bank, Chase Manhattan Bank, all these different banks, okay? Here we go. This sign is a red hexagram. The hexagram is that 6-pointed symbol that you see around my neck, and also in this book. This is the red flag. It's called Rothschild. The Rothschilds, are you familiar with the name, are the heads of the world. They're the heads of this world. They're a member of the 666. Like you hear that number 666 and you get scared. Oh, that's the devil's symbol, and it's got some spiritual witchcraft on it. Well, let me explain something to you. That means 666 people that are in charge of this earth. The book of Job in chapter 9 and verse 24 states that the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And if not him, then who is it? Okay. If it's not the Rothschild, then who is it? It's them 666 folks who the Rothschilds in already. It's them. It's the so-called it's our oppressor. Okay. Our oppressor is the ones that control this earth, the economic activities on the planet Earth. Okay. I went into Esau in the book of chapter 36 and I went to verse 1 first and explained, to get a chance to go back and read it, Esau's sons. It explains who Esau's sons are. One of Esau's sons' name was Timon. Look and research the word Timon. Timon is the ancient name of German people. And then one of his sons, not only Timon, was named Kenaz. And a lot of fake Jews, you probably heard this before, they call themselves the Ashkenazi. Kenaz is in that name. That's Esau's sons. And Esau is the white man in the Bible. That's the father of the white man. That's their history. That's who they came from. Okay. His twin brother name was Jacob, and Jacob is our father. That's who we pray. When we pray to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Esau was the one who despised his birthright and sold it to Jacob for some red soup that Jacob gave him, because Jacob knew that he didn't want that birthright. Jacob was like, here, I'll sell you this soup. Give it to me. And Esau said, okay. That's what he did. He despised the birthright from the Lord. That's why the things are going around like it is now. That's why them bombs went over there. That's why the Ukraine and Russia are going at it. That's why China wants to take over Taiwan. That's why you saw the first World War I, World War II, World War III. I mean, World War I and World War II. Okay, so we went back to that birthright. Then we went to the name, another one of Esau's sons, whose name was Amalek. Amalek was the one that Israel, if you look up Amalek in the Bible, you'll see, if you look it up in the Strong's Concordance and look up who Amalek is. Amalek is the son of Esau. So a lot of these Jews are lying when they say they're not white people. They are white. They're one of Esau's sons, Ashkenaz. I mean, Ashkenaz and Amalek. Okay? That's them small hat people that you see running around in New York, in Brooklyn. They got the black hats and those black coats, and they eat the gefilte fish and the matzahs and the shallots on the sides of their face, that hair, trying to be like us. We wear braids. God's people wear braids. You Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian understand that you guys chosen people. You are the real Jews who walk this earth, who are truly depressed. Slavery was the worst thing that ever happened. I begun this class with Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7 that stated, remember the days of old. Remember the days of old. Consider thou many generations. Ask thy father and he'll tell you. So when anybody tells you that you should forget slavery, you need to look at him, like I said before, you need to look at him like he got a disease. You need to remember the days of old. Ask thy father and he will tell you, as it states in that verse, that he'll tell you when Adam separated the earth, the sons of the earth, when God separated the sons of Adam, when God separated us, okay? And I hope, who is that? Hi-Fi or Hi-Fi, H5. Hope you can hear the class now. All right. So we went over that. So we went over certain things in the book that the Rothschilds were doing, because they were studying I got the one thumb up, appreciate it. So they weren't studying the Rothschild family, who started this red sign, this red shield, our shield. This is our shield. But they started it in a wicked way. When they had their counting houses back in on page 9, it says the year was like 1744. Okay, so that's what they were doing back then. So when you see that, you understand that that's where they came from, because they stole our language, our culture, and they stole the Most High. Okay, they stole. They don't have the Most High, but they tried to steal. They tried to steal it, but the Most High's heart is with us, and our heart should be with the Most High. We should follow the law, statutes, and commandments out of this Bible, because the Bible is our Constitution. The Bible is our Constitution. Nothing else. This Bible, that's our Constitution. You need to read the King James Version. The only Bible you should be reading, the King James Version. And the Apocrypha was in it. If you can get the 1611, then get the 1611. All right. So that's their mode. That was their motive. Their motive was to get money. So the Rothschild are funding every war that you see. They're funding both sides of the war. They're funding Iran and they're funding Israel, the Israelis. All right. They're funding Russia and they're funding the Ukraine. Okay. They were funding both sides in the Napoleon War with the French and the Britain and France, and they're funding the things that are going on, because when there's a war, those fake Jews know that that's a guaranteed debt that has to be paid. So they want that war to go forth, to make their pockets much, much fatter than yours, richer, making themselves ridiculously rich. Okay. And that's what this book, Synagogue Satan, it touches on, amongst other things. about Amalek, about the fake Jew. Okay. So I'm at page let's see, 253. Okay. At the last paragraph, he claims that one of the main ways the Jews are able to suppress the abundance of historic literature warning us about them was by being behind a Democratic Party law. Okay, ordering books printed, plates to be destroyed on all books that had not been reprinted within 4 years, so the copper used to manufacture the plates could be used for the war effort. That's why they wanted them books. They wanted the copper because, I mean, when I was in economic in college in World War III, we were speaking about economics. World War III, the economics. If y'all don't know, that's when our economy really, boomed. It boomed in World War II because what happened was we had a war effort and people were working. They were patriotic to this country, and they used to work damn near for free. The women were out just bringing food so that they could still work in the factories and everything. They were making bullets. It's called a guns and butter economy. And you had them, with these copper plates that they were making for the war effort. Copper, you turn that into bullets. Steel, you turn that into ships, destroyer ships, Navy ships. Aluminum, you turn that into fighter planes and jets. Okay, that's how that economy was going. That's a little glimpse of the economy that was going, and the Rothschilds was behind that, and they were behind burning these books. So let's fast forward to page 298. I believe it's 293. Should be 293. Okay, yeah. Now down in the 1, 2. Okay, I'm gonna go to 292 and the 293, of course. In October, this is 1983, Chairman Herbrun of the Committee to re-elect General Shlomo Lahat, a mayor of Tel Aviv, states, they want to re-elect this small hat, this fake Jew. We have to kill all the Palestinians unless they are resigned to live here as slaves. That's their outlook. We have to kill them all unless they want to live as slaves. Now, who was a slave black man? Who was a slave black man? But now they want to be slaves to. They also want the Palestinians to be slaves or dead. All right. And this is another one, which was back in my time. This was another incident that happened in 1983. On October 23rd in Beirut, y'all might know about this one as well, the United States Marine Corps barracks was blasted to shreds by a truckload of explosives, resulting in the deaths of 241 servicemen. Y'all remember when they bombed the Marine barracks? Those of you back in the day, that's a little bit older. In this book, by way of deception, remember, war by deception, former Mossad agent Victor Ostrovsky confirms Israel had an advanced knowledge of this attack. Israel knew about that attack. Think they gave a damn? Israel had advanced knowledge of the attack, yet did not bother to warn the Americans. He states they didn't bother to even warn us that they were coming. There was going to be a truck full of explosives headed toward the American barracks where the Marines were stationed. Okay. Salaki, give me 1 second. Okay, so they weren't even warned that they were going to bomb the American Marine Corps barracks. Man, that's crazy. All right. The general attitude at Mossad about Americans. Now, listen up. This is what they think about Americans. As far as the Yanks, because they always call American folks Yankees. As far as the Yanks go, we are not here to protect them. We're not here to protect them. They didn't even give a damn about America. They let that bomb just go. Boom. They let that terrorist just roll right in there with the trucks with tons of explosives on it to destroy the American barracks. Okay? That was the Mossad. And like we said, the Mossad is part of, it is a terrorist group associated with a terrorist group. Israeli, a terrorist group at that. Okay? All right. So let's go down to the other paragraph, like the sixth paragraph on page 293. The Mossad ran into a problem. They are training both Sri Lanka special forces. They're training the Sri Lankans, the Indians, right? And the Tamil Tiger rebels from Sri Lanka at the same Mossad training school. They training them both at the same school. Wow, and that's wicked as hell. They train them both. I'm gonna train you and train you both to kill each other, to go at it. And that's what they like. And that's what they like to see the downfall of a people. Just like the KKK likes to see when a brother shoots another brother in the hood. He likes to see when we out there fighting all the time, fighting each other. These sisters going crazy on the internet, fighting each other. Every chance they get, they pulling off each other bra, pulling each other hair, beating each other down. The brothers knocking each other out, shooting each other, going against everything. They love to see that anarchy, but on a large scale. So does the fake Jew. He's siding both sides of the war. So he's training these Sri Lankan rebels to go against the special forces, the Lankan special forces, and the Tamil rebels from Sri Lanka at the same Mossad training school, Kfar Sirkin in Israel. This is after selling both sides military training courses. So, man, that's crazy. Imagine that. That's how Rothschild get their money. That's how that's how the fake Jew gets his money. Yet you want to support that American support to them instead of supporting what's going on in the ghetto, supporting what's going on in the barrio, man, supporting what's going on in the reservations, man. Get your head out of America. America is about to be destroyed. Get your head out of them damn politics. They're all about to be destroyed. The Lord is going to destroy America for its evil ways, for persecuting its people. Us, God's chosen people, are right here in America. Although we were scattered in the earth, we're still scattered in the earth, but most of us are in America, in South America. Okay? Understand that. World War III is about to be here. It's about to be a real fact. And as a matter of fact, just as our General YAHANNA was stating, the American Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, they're on red alert right now as we speak. They're on red alert. War is imminent. And that goal of them Israelis is to genocide the Palestinians, take the land, take the resources, and take it to themselves to get their fuel, to get their own fuel. Understand? Russia's about to go into to Dubai. It's about to go into the Arab nations. And once that happens, man, you can't turn it back. And they're all going to meet in Jehoshaphat, the valley of decision. And the Lord is going to plead the case of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. He's going to plead for his people, us. And he's not going to be pleading like, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can y'all stop killing, letting the blacks kill each other, letting the Hispanics kill each other, letting the black and Hispanics kill each other? Can you stop the Native Indians from? No, he's going to do it with a sword. In other words, he's going to cut their head off. He's going to burn them. So if you want to survive that, if you want to Salaki, if you want to do that, you need to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of God. If you want to get through this war, World War III, that's getting ready to happen, when they're getting ready to smoke America, get ready to get smoked. You understand? If you want to survive that in your families, you need to come into the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under the command of General YAHANNA at 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right, that's where the main school is. Understand, get under the law, statutes, and commandments and follow them. Stop following these holidays. You know, some of y'all celebrated Father's Day and all that, man. Get out of that. All the holidays are wicked. Every single last one of them. Those folks are ready to take your life real soon. This war is spiritual and it's getting ready to become carnal, physical. You understand? So they're training, these Israelis have been training both sides. That's their motive. They're training both sides of any conflict, any war that's going down. Believe you me, they got a hand on both sides. It's evident in this book, it's evident in history, it's evident in current events. You know, you gotta look deeper into things, man. Look deeper into things. The Bible tells us to search all things and prove all things. That's why I have this book here. That's why this class is called the I.S.U.P.K history class for every Wednesday night. Understand? I'm stepping in for Priest Officer Thawaga Bar. You understand? That's what this is about, man. Search everything. The history proves. It proves it. And it will reveal who is wicked in this earth. You need to stop following the ways of the wicked, man. Stop smoking that weed and pick up a book. Stop smoking that weed, period, and pick up a book, man. Start exercising. You know, they had a research that weed is apparent to cause heart attacks, early heart attacks. Ain't nothing good coming out that weed except you being lazy, dumb, and getting obese and getting a heart attack. That's what you want. That's not what we want in this school. None of us, we ain't weed smoking up in here. Okay. Now let's get back to this. Okay. So both sides, military training courses. This is a step from the Rothschild family funding both sides in war. This time, Jews are actually selling courses in how both sides can best kill each other. Right here in the book, reading it verbatim. All right. The next paragraph says, it is touch and go, but the Mossad managed to keep both sides apart in 3 weeks at this training course, and both factions leave to return to Sri Lanka, none the wiser that their enemy was being trained in the same damn camp. Wow. Their enemy was being trained in the same damn camp. And then they go back thinking they got something. Well, I learned this part in hand-to-hand combat. I learned how to shoot this thing. I'm really good at this one. I'm an expert. You know, they just give us a medal called the Rifle Expert in the Marine Corps. All right, they still give that out as 2 cross barrels and a reef. Okay, you wear that, you see anybody with that cross barrel, you know he can shoot real good. Okay, they're going back and saying that they can shoot real good, but they don't, unbeknownst to the other, he got trained at the same damn school. Trained at the same school. Man, you know, I laugh, but I really do not want to laugh. You know, this is what our oppressor is doing. And he's been doing this since early times, man, since real early times. That's what he's been doing. Okay, now I'm gonna go to this one here, Salaki, because you know this is really good stuff. I have a lot of it already highlighted. We got page 303 in the book. If you know you came in, this is The Synagogue of Satan by Harold Hitchcock. No, Salaki, Andrew Hitchcock. Okay, keep holding up this book because it's real interesting and pertinent to what's going on today. Now, on page 303, it says, 1990. Now we're in 1990. In his book, By Way of Deception, published this year, former Mossad agent Victor Ostrovsky reveals the following. Mossad recruits. So when you join the Mossad, Mossad recruits Arabs. The fake Jew is recruiting Arabs, Arab agents, to carry out missions. All right. Number 2, on page 304, Israeli agents are skilled at impersonating Arabs. So they acted like the Israelis acted like they Arabs. Going in there. You don't know who's who in the zoo. All right. Part 3. Mossad has an elaborate plan to vilify Iraq and involve the United States in a war against it. The war against Iraq. Who'd have known? The Mossad was behind that. Who would have known? Okay. Trying to get y'all back on the game plan. Of course, staying on the game plan. Make sure that we stay on the game plan. All right. What's the motive behind the Israelis? Behind the war that's going on between the Israelis and the Iranians and the Iraqians and whoever they're going against. Okay. So we're gonna go to I'm gonna go back. We're gonna go to page, let's see, I'm gonna get page 308, page 308. Okay. What the Mossad really feared was that Iraq's gigantic army, so this was back in 1995, in the early 1990s, okay? The real reason for this war in Iraq is revealed in Victor Ostrovsky's book, The Other Side of Deception, which he states on page 315. What the Mossad really feared was that Iraq's gigantic army, which had survived the Iran-Iraq war, was being supplied by who supplied them? The West, okay? And financed by Saudi Arabia. Look at that. They're being financed by the West and Saudi Arabia. All right. Shalom, Trooper Shalat. Oh, Shalom, Trooper Shalat. Black Dazzle. That's his rib. All right. I see y'all both tuning in. That's good as a couple, a family, man. All right. So they feared Iraq's gigantic army, which has survived Iran and Iraq war, which was being supplied by the West and financed by Saudi Arabia, would fall into the hands of a leader who might be more palatable to the West and still be a threat to Israel. See? So they feared that. They said that might destroy us right there. Okay. The first is paragraph 2 on page 308 of the Synagogue of Satan, the book called The Synagogue of Satan by Andrew Hitchcock. The first step was taken in November 1988 when Mossad told the Israeli Foreign Office to stop all talks with the Iraqis regarding a peace front. They didn't want to have no peace. They didn't want them to have no peace at that time. Secret negotiations were taking place between the Israelis, the Jordanians, and the Iraqis under the auspices of the Egyptians and with the blessings of the French and the Americans. See how shady that is? Here it is, they're supposed to be at war with each other, but they have a secret negotiations. All right? They're supposed to be at war with each other. They're getting funded by both sides, by the Israelis. The small hat folks, they funding both of them. They already said that it's already was written that the Sri Lankan special forces and the other rebels were being trained in the same damn school. At that time, they trained in the same school, and they come out thinking that they better than the other one, but the other one got the same training. They want to make sure they obliterate each other for money's sake, for that almighty dollar. And for, of course, the conquering and the rulership of the fake Jew to control the world, to control America and control the world. You understand? That's the motive behind all what's going on. Okay? That's the motive behind that. The Mossad manipulated it so that that Iraq looked as if they were the only country unwilling to talk, thereby convincing the Americans that Iraq had a different agenda. So America fell for it too. Okay. By January 1989, man, I'm just looking. By January 1989, the Mossad, LAP, Israeli psychological warfare machine, was busy portraying Saddam Hussein as a tyrant and a danger to the world. Those weapons of mass destruction. The Mossad activated every asset it had in every place possible, from volunteer agents in Amnesty International to fully bought members of the United States Congress. Saddam had been killing its own people. And the cry went, what could his enemies expect? The gruesome photos of dead Kurdish mothers clutching their dead babies after gas attack by Saddam's army were real, and the acts were horrendous, horrible. But the Kurds were entangled in an all-out guerrilla war with the regime in Baghdad and had been supported for years by the Mossad. Wow. Who sent arms and advisors to mountain camps of the Barzani family. This attack by the Iraqis could hardly be called an attack on their own people. It could hardly be called that. He was attacking his own people. You understand? They were definitely exterminating the other side, playing both ends against the middle, like they say. They were playing both ends against the middle. All right. The media was supplied with inside information and tips from reliable sources on how crazed leader of Iraq killed people with his bare hands and used missiles to attack Iranian cities. What they neglected to tell the media was the most of the targeting for the missiles were done by the Mossad. Wow. With the help of American satellites. That's getting ready to go on now. It's probably been going on now. Getting helped. They're getting help by doing this, doing the things that they're doing. It's just not motivated on their own, because the central base now of the Jewish people is America. They escaped the programs of Russia and came to America. Came to Brooklyn, New York. You understand? Came all through America and set up their shop and started, with they kept their bank thing going. And war is one of their biggest financial gains. One of the biggest ones. Okay. They want the Palestinians to be their slaves or get the hell out or genocide. Pick one. Understand? Pick one for them. And we don't, by the way, the I.S.U.P.K, we do not join or support Israeli people, and neither do we support Palestinian people. We support Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, period. Make sure that y'all understand that. Understand? All right. So, let me get back to, I just want to get to page, we had 308. Let me get to page 3. We're going to go to page 314 in this book. Now understand, in the times of in biblical times also, understand that Amalek was at war with the Israelites. Amalek was at war with the Israelites. Amalek is the father of the fake Jews. So the fake Jews was at war with the real Jews. If you really want to put it into English and history and interpret it what it is, the fake Jews were at war with the original Jews. You understand? Let me get to this. That's why the Most High said there will be an everlasting war with Amalek from generation to generation. Lord said he had war with Amalek from generation to generation. That's why the things are going on in the earth now like it is, because of them. Okay, let me get to let me look at Exodus, the book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 8. The book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 8. All right, here it is. Then came Amalek, Salaki, and fought with Israel in Rephidim. See, Amalek was at war with Israel. The fake Jews was at war with the real Jews. You understand? And verse 9, and Moses and Joshua Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek tomorrow. I will stand at the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. You understand? That's why history, you have to look at history, and then you can understand the present. You can understand what's going on in the present times. Okay? Now it talks about how Moses had to hold up that rod and during that war. And he was old at that time. Moses was old. He had already got the children of Israel, our ancestors, out of Egypt. All right. He already parted the Red Sea. He was old. He was holding it during a battle when Joshua was in charge and leading when Joshua was leading the troops. But he got tired, and when he let the rod down, the Amalek, the fake Jews, they were prevailing. They started winning the war, but they got two folks up on both sides of Moses. Two Israelites held his hand back up, and that's when the Israelites became victorious in that war. Like in verse 12, it states, but Moses' hands were heavy. They took a stone and put it under him. He sat thereon. Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Okay? When the sun set, his hands was heavy until the sun set. And the Lord said, and Joshua discomfited Amalek. See? That's when we started. That's when we won. We discomfited them. Okay? And Joshua, that's verse 13, and Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. See, so when you roll up in these Christian churches, man, you roll up in these Catholic churches, you try to listen to what they're saying, they're not talking about war. War is throughout the Bible. War is imminent. Life is warfare. Understand? But you got to have that righteous fight, the real fight, the fight of the Lord, the fight for your people. Fight for the Mexicans, man. Fight for the Hispanic brothers, man. And they should be fighting for us. And we should be fighting for them. And we should be fighting for the Native Indian people only. Because these are our people. We should not be concerned with Democrat and Republican. That's their business. Our business is our people, man. Our business is for Israel to rise out of the ghetto, for Israel to rise out of the barrio, for Israel to rise out of the reservation. That's our business. All that other stuff, that's their business, man. You understand? That's what they should be doing. That's what whatever you do, that's what you do. We're going to do what we do over here. For us, we will serve the Lord. As far as we're concerned, we will serve the Lord. Understand that, man. Verse 14, and the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the earth, man. That's how much the Lord hates Amalek. That's how much the Lord hates the Israelis. That's how much he hates the unrighteous. That's how much he hates whoever supports them, because he knows that's unrighteous, and we know it in the I.S.U.P.K. He said, I'm going to read it again. It says, and the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the sun. That's under the earth, man. The earth is under the sun. He's going to put the name out. He's going to make sure that the establishment that you see, the Democrats, Republicans, them fake Jews, them small hat people, he's going to make sure they never return. Never, ever. Let me go to the book of Obadiah real quick. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah only got one chapter in it. Go to the book of Obadiah. All right. Let me go to remember we said this is verse 3, because we're looking at the Jews trying to say, those fake Jews try to tell you that they're not white people. Yes, they are. Okay, we already read the bloodline. Verse 3 says, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. The pride of their heart deceived them. Understand? They prideful people. You can tell them how many pickup trucks they got, how many goddamn stocks and bonds they got, how big their bank accounts are, how their trucks are big, their families got trust funds, they got property here, property there, property here and there. They got all that stuff, man. What do you got, black man? What do you got, Hispanic man? They already kicked you out from the damn from the agriculture, from picking fruit and vegetables that we eat every day. Tell you how much they love you. Understand the pride of these prideful bastards. Understand the pride of thy heart has deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth, you that live in the clefts of the rocks, you that lives in the mountains. You come from the Caucasus Mountains. Thou that lives in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high. When you go to a mountain, that's a high place, man. That's the high part of the earth. And you say, and that saith in his heart, who shall bring me to the ground? See, this is why the earth is going to destroy you. This is why the earth is going to destroy our oppressor. And make no mistake, if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian and you supporting them, the Lord is going to destroy you too. You're going to be destroyed with them if you do not support your people, if you do not follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of God. And the only way you're going to find that is in the I.S.U.P.K. It's the only way you're going to find it. There is but one truth in this earth. It's only one. And that's in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the commanding General YAHANNA. Understand? Shalai said mountain. He said mountain goats. Yeah, those mountain goats that live in the goddamn mountain, though that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, as the Bible states in the book of Obadiah. Now let me go down to make sure that you understand. And see, when I read about Esau's sons, I said Amalek was his son. I told y'all Kenaz was his son. I told you that Timon was his son. Look at what it says about Timon. This verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Timon. See? Timon is those German people. German, the mighty men, he don't mean mighty necessarily in physical. He mean mighty in those engineers that make. Germans have the best cars. They got the best cars. Those motors are their technology is high above all the earth, above all the engineers. They have great technology. Okay, that's what it means by mighty men. Okay, and thy mighty men, O Timon, shall be dismayed. Oh shoot, you got wait. What happened with Tesla? Isn't he German? I'm not sure. Is it Elon Musk German? He might be German. I'm not sure. He could be. Might be. I don't know if he's German or those white African folks in Africa. Okay. O mighty men of Timon shall be dismayed to the end, that every one of the mount of Esau, see, their father, everyone from the mountains of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. That's why it says, who live by the sword must die by the sword. He who leads into captivity must go into captivity. In other words, he who leads into slavery must go into slavery. Thus saith the Lord. That's in the book of Revelation. Okay, we'll go to that as the end. Okay, all right. Now watch this. This is concerning this war right here. In the day, it said, we go to verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, for the violence that this so-called oppressor did to us, Rodney King, that did to us, Ahmaud Arbery, that did to us, Breonna Taylor, that did to us, Assata Shakur, that did to us, Philando Castile, which did to us, Sandra Bland, for thy violence against Black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. He ain't never ruling this world again. He will never rule in this society again. Democrat and Republicans and whoever party will never be ruling this world again. You understand? That's what the Lord says. All right. Verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces. They were talking about our ancestors, us. We were carried away, understand, by their forces. We were destroyed. Jerusalem was destroyed by Rome. The Romans, who's the Romans? Those are white folks. Who's Italian? Those are white folks. Who was Christ? A black man. Where did Christ come from? Bethlehem. Where is Bethlehem? Jerusalem. Jerusalem was sacked in 70 AD, which means it was destroyed by the Germans. By the Russians. No, Salaki. By the Romans. By the Romans under General Vespasian, General Titus, and his son, General Vespasian. They sacked and destroyed Jerusalem for the last time. You need to get the book called From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph Windsor. When they destroyed Jerusalem, 1 million black Jews went into slavery. What's the other word for slavery? Captivity. We were captive. Our ancestors been slaves since time began, damn near. But I got good news for us. This is the last time we're going to be slaves, man. This is the last time. This is the last Exodus, man. Let's go back to Obadiah. I'm at verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces and foreigners, entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem. They were shooting dice. I so happen to have some dice right here because I shoot the dice too. Understand? Because there's nothing wrong with shooting dice. But in this case, this is wrong with the motive of shooting dice. Because this is the symbol. The dice is the symbol of the Haitian people. And the Haitians used to be the priests of the Israelites. Casting lots, there's nothing wrong with casting lots as long as you casting it and following God's laws. Okay? That's another thing y'all don't know, until you get into this school. Understand? So, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even was thou one of them. So, in other words, the fake Jew was one of them casting lots when they destroyed Jerusalem. Verse 12, but thou should not have looked on that day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. We became a stranger that day. That day they destroyed Jerusalem, we became strangers, man. Reason why these things happen to us is because we walked away from the law, statutes, and commandments of God. We started worshiping other nations' gods. We didn't worship our true God. All right? We start worshiping Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all right? 4th of July coming up. All of these holidays that we should never have nothing to do with. We started doing that, and that's why we became strangers in the land. That's why Jerusalem was destroyed, all right? But God stays with us, understand? Because his promise to his servant David, our forefather David, Dawadah in the Hebrew, because his real name is Dawadah in the Hebrew, with his promise and his covenant with Abraham, he is still with Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We got to wake up. We the ones who are in sleep, in slumber. We have to wake up, man. We need to be about us, for us, and to us. Understand? There it is. That's right. Hard-headed and stiff-necked. That's our people. Damn right, Trooper Shalak. Hard-headed and stiff-necked, for thou art a stiff-necked people. You know what I mean? You get a chance, I'm sure you got that scripture. Get a chance, go to that precept. Our people were stiff-necked and hard and stiff-necked people. So several prophets have said that. Understand? Moses knew that. When he brought us out of Egypt, all we could do was complain. Let's go back to the Pharaoh. We never had this at this time. We're under so much peril because we left Egypt. Bring us back to Egypt. We know we were slaves. Let's go back. Complaining, hard head. When the Lord gave us the land of milk and honey. He gave us the land of milk and honey, took us into the promised land, led by Moses. All right? So that's what it said. Okay, let's go to verse 12. But thou should not have looked on the day of thy brothers in the day that he became a stranger, neither should have thou rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should have thou spoken proudly. They always speak proud. Don't I press him? He always proud as hell, ain't he? That's a proud bastard, man. I say it damn near every day, boy. I be like, look, he think he the shit. So like, I mean, he think he's something. He think he the best. But he's the damn worst. We're in the state. Look at all this stuff happening. Everybody getting cancer. Everybody getting diabetes. Everybody tired as hell. Everybody ain't making no money. Everybody arguing with each other. Everybody don't know they got psychological problems. Our women got mental problems. They don't want to follow. Man, it's just a mess, man. Because of Obadiah, because of Esau and his children. You know what I mean? All right. Neither should have thou spoken proudly in the day of distress. Verse 13, thou should not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Because the Lord was punishing us at that time. Understand? But he walked in the gate. He spoke proudly against us. I'll tell you what else this wicked bastard did. All right? In the day of their calamity, yea, thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. What is substance? Substance is money. Substance is resources. Substance is oil. Substance is everything that benefits you financially, to stabilize you, a physical thing. That's your substance, your money, your resources. Well, our oppressor still got hands on our resources. He don't even want to give us reparations. We still fighting for reparations. When did supposed slavery ended? That should show you that you're still in slavery, man. That should show you still in slavery. Don't believe me? Don't go to work tomorrow. You don't believe me? You don't think you're in slavery? Don't go to work tomorrow. They already deported our brothers and took their damn jobs. Jeez. It's going to be a mess. Folks ain't going to be knowing how to get no damn vegetables and fruits now that our Hispanic brothers are gone. That's a damn mess, man. But that's not the only thing. It's a big thing, but it's not the only thing. Okay? Laid hands on their substance. Verse 14, neither should have thou stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did his escape. That did escape, because some of us escaped when they sacked Jerusalem. Some of us escaped and got in the way, but our oppressors stood right in the way to make sure we wouldn't escape. See, that violence against our brother, that's in their heart. They were born with that. They were born with that. That's why we need the Savior. Talk about every nation need a Savior. That's a damn lie. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian need the Savior, and our Savior's name is Yahawashi. Christ, Yahawashi in the Hebrew. That's who our Savior is. And that's the one who's coming from heaven with 4 million black angels with his sword in the flying saucers. That's the one who's going to come and take this earth away from our oppressor, that he never rule again. Watch this. Neither should have thou stood in the crossway to cut off those that did escape. Neither should have thou delivered up those that did remain in the day of distress. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all of the heathen. The day of the Lord is near. You can see it. You can feel it. You know it's over, man. You know it's going to come to an end. Well, that's the time for us to rejoice, man. That's the time for us to really be happy. That's the time for us to not be concerned with none of their business, man. Because they full of it. And the Lord is going to make sure that they be empty. Watch this. Going to make sure that they never rule again. Okay, neither should have Salaki. For the day is of the Lord is near upon the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. See that? That's righteousness. So if you took us into slavery, guess who need to be a slave? You, the oppressor. You need to be a slave. Because we were slaves for over 400 years, man. We still counting. Oh, snap. Hey, well, put some butter on that popcorn, Shalon. I want some of that popcorn too. Shoot. Matter of fact, we're gonna do the whole shebang. All right. We're gonna have a damn cookout. That cookout that General YAHANNA was talking about. You know what I mean? Y'all got the popcorn ready, I'm down. Damn right. We're gonna be happy in them days, man. Because when the evil is rule upon the world, the people mourn. Israel, in the book of Jeremiah 14:2, it says, Judah mourneth. We're in mourning. Black people are in mourning. Hispanic people are in mourning, man. So-called Native Indians, they're in mourning. We ain't happy with this bull crap. We ain't happy with this nonsense, this greediness, with this hatred that they have, and they try to cover it up with the word love. They got a hatred with us, man. They've been hated us, man. You can feel it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. All right. So, for when that day is near upon the heathen, it shall be done unto thee, thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Which means what you did to us is going to happen to you. I'm going to come back to Obadiah. Let's go to Revelation, because in Revelation it say the same thing. And I believe it's in verse 13 and 9. Well, let's go to 13 and 9 first. If any man, this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity, and like I said before, and like this, you can look it up, captivity is the same thing as slavery. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. See, that's the righteousness. If you led into slavery, you made people be slaves, then you should be a slave too. So I can't wait, boy. You gonna pick my cotton too. You finna pick my cotton. You gonna bring me a glass of water. I'll put my feet on your kids as a damn ottoman, like a piece of furniture. You're gonna be out in that field and you're gonna get that skin cancer because you can't take the sun. All right, like you put my forefathers through and my mothers and stuff. All right. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword. See, I didn't do my last class. I didn't have a sword. But since I'm at the TITHES, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. See that? They always bragging about how many guns they got, how many bullets they got, how many bombs they got. See, because Esau got to live by the sword. He has to live by the sword. There's no other way. He can't live by love. He never went to anybody's land and just spread love and let them get bigger, let them be more prosperous with their own resources without being independent of them. He always led with the sword. You know what I mean? That's why you got World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, the French Revolution, the war between the red coats and the blue coats, and then you got the Revolutionary War, right? That was just stuck in my mind for a reason. All right. So, and then you got Iran and all that, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all that stuff. All right. Here is must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Be patient, black man. Be patient, Hispanic man. Be patient, so-called Native Indian man. this is the time for us to be patient, man. Also to be vigilant, keep our eyes open, keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Be a brother to our brothers. Support the Mexicans, man. Support them. They're going through hell right now. Didn't you go through hell, black man? Didn't you go through hell, Native Indian man? The Hispanic man having it too. And I think the Native Indians having it too. Shoot, let's go back to the book of Obadiah. So that the Obadiah is the precept for what I just read in the book of Revelation. So I'm at Obadiah, I think I'm in the 15th. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, because you know they go to our land and they have their vacations over there. They took us out of our land. We can't even go there no more. Matter of fact, they trying to say that ain't our land. They've been saying that. All right. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink. Yea, drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. All right. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. The house of Joseph is the Hispanic. The house of Jacob is all of us. All right. The house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph shall be a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. The house of Esau is going to be stubble. You know what stubble is for fire? That's the wood you put in there to make the goddamn fire in the first place. That's how Esau going to be. They're going to be the stubble. We going to be the fire. Verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain of Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria and Benjamin. We went further enough. But that's why the Lord said that he's going to destroy Amalek. That's the reason. Now, where were we at? We was in Genesis 17:8. Wait a minute. That's not the one I want. Okay, let me go to I think I was in Exodus 17:16. But let me go to First Chronicle chapter 1. I'm gonna go to First Chronicle chapter 1 and verse 36. Okay, so this is just telling the sons of Esau. This is telling the sons, which we already kind of proved that already. Let's go to Numbers 24 and 20. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 24 and verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. He was the first of the nations, but he will perish forever. He'll be destroyed forever. He ain't never coming back. Pink stubble. Yeah, you damn right. Pink stubble. Of course, pink stubble. But you know, they got that LGBTQYZ stuff going in the fake Jews, those fake hats. They be doing that because little did you know, that's a good point. Shalot, watch this. That pink The rabbis, when they circumcised the children, and they call themselves men of God, priests and whatever, the rabbis have a practice where they take in their mouth the phallus, the jilly, like we say in the hood, the jilly. He'll take their jilly and put it in his mouth and pull off the foreskin with his teeth. That's their circumcision. A while back, y'all probably don't see this, but you can look at our videos. Captain Tazariak went against this brother who went, yeah, that's true. Went against this brother, and this brother said that he would let his son do it. But he was of Israel, but he studies and supports the fake Jews. He's in their synagogues. He goes to their synagogues instead of being here in our school. He despises us, man. But he said he'll let his son's foreskin, if he's got a son and he's an infant, he'll let the rabbi put his mouth and pull off his foreskin so that he could be circumcised. You know, they have an epidemic of oral herpes. They don't tell y'all about that. They have an epidemic of oral herpes, man. Oh, but did the Lord say, mankind shall not lay with mankind as if with a woman? Did the Lord say that? Disgusting. That's right. Disgusting. Because this is another thing. That's why he said his kingdom will perish forever. But there's another thing I wanted to bring out about this. One more thing I wanted to another thing I want to bring about it. It slipped my mind. But that's what they want to do, man. That's why he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So they took a part of slavery. Remember, they took a part of slavery. They financed the slave ships. I was looking up the name of the first slaving company, and I was looking because it was mentioned in here of what they do. They were the first slavers, this association. But let's see, where's I at? Where was I at? You know, this is a lot of wicked, disgusting things, man. And if you don't do the research, you're gonna be caught up in what do you call it? You're gonna be caught up in this world. You're gonna be caught up in all kinds of falsehoods and lies. The story of Max Hochstim. Okay, this Max Hochstim was part of the Tammanyism, and they were part of slavery. They were part of the gangs that you have in New York. The gangs that were in New York, they were part of it. Okay, they were doing those things to us that that promote slavery. But that'll be of another class I'll probably put in. But I'm gonna go to page 318 in the Synagogue of Satan. It says the Israelis are extremely efficient in pursuing people they have accused of such crimes, and they must accept that other nations want to do the same thing. However, Israel refuses to extradite. They talk about somebody that they extradited. Shalaki on that. I'm gonna go down back to the Mossad. I'll go back. What is the Mossad doing giving humanitarian assistance to blacks in Soweto? I remember asking him. There was no logic to it, no short-term political gain, which way the Mossad operated, or any visible monetary advantage. So he had another book. This is the second book. They're just quoting out a second book that the Mossad agent Victor Ostrovsky released, entitled "The Other Side of Deception," in which the following on page 241. So that's what he was talking about. Okay. So it goes into infectious diseases and all different kind of things like that. Is it any wonder that you got all these things going on since these rabbis are sexually perverted? All right. So what I want to do, I'm gonna go back into some more of these precepts that I have. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15 and verse 1. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15 and verse 1. Now, if you notice, I've been going back from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So you can't say it's just the Old Testament they were talking about. That's in the New Testament. I just read it from the last book of the Bible, Revelations. All right. That was Samuel 15 and 1. All right. Samuel said unto Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint thee king over his people." This one, Israel didn't want the Lord to be their king. They wanted Samuel to be their king. Samuel was a Benjamite, a tall Benjamite, and he became, not Samuel, Saul was a tall Benjamite, and he became leader over the Israelites at that time. Thus, verse 2, king over his people, over Israel. Now, therefore, hearken unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Verse 2, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel. See that? The Lord said he remembered what Amalek did to Israel. They ain't getting off, man. We got to come out of that idea that the Lord love everybody. It don't sound like love right now. He said he remembered what they did to Israel, what Amalek did to Israel. All right. How he had wait for them in the way when he came up out of Egypt. When we were running out of Egypt to get away from the Pharaoh, Amalek was the one that was guilty of helping the Pharaoh. Verse 3, now go and smite Amalek. Smite means to strike, hit, destroy, go to war against. Smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. And if y'all don't know what an ass is a donkey. Okay. And Saul gathering the people together, verse 4, and numbered them in Telam, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul, verse 5, and Saul came to the city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. Verse 6, and Saul said to the Kenites, go, depart, and get you down from the Amaleks. Because see, the Kenites were cool with us. The Kenites ain't did nothing to us. So Saul warned them, get away, because we get ready to kill these Amaleks, the Amalekites. Okay? Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. See, that's a lesson you got to learn. If the Lord is against a nation of people, you need to get away from that nation of people. So many of us are coons. We got a lot of coons and sellouts. The coons and sellouts are going to be the ones that's going to be destroyed with our oppressor in these end times. You need to get out. If you out there being a Trumpster, you better stop being a damn Trumpster. You better get with the black folks. You better get on over here to our cookout. All right. Better get with the Hispanics. Get you some tacos and burritos. Shit. get with the native Indians, learn how to do their things as well. Okay. Lest I destroy you with them, for you showed kindness to the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from the Amalekites. See, the Kenites were smart. They got away from them. All right? They got away from them because they were getting ready to be destroyed. Okay? Verse 7, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur. That is over against Egypt. Verse 8, and he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive. See, Saul wasn't supposed to do this. That's why Saul, if you read the story continue, Saul had a lot of demons on him because he didn't follow what God told him to do. Yeah, he was the king of the Israelites. The Lord let him be the king, but Samuel, the prophet, told him he's supposed to follow all the orders of God. And that's where you fall short. Any man that doesn't follow every rule, law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God will be destroyed. Will be, put it this way, will be punished. May not be destroyed in every case, but will be punished and or destroyed. Okay? Saul smote the Amalekites unto Shur until thou comest to Shur over against Egypt. That was verse 7. We didn't read that. All right. Verse 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and his people spared Agag. He spared the king, man. What the hell was he thinking about? What the hell was he thinking about? See, you loving your oppressor, man. You loving your oppressor. The Lord said, destroy him, and you did the opposite. You spared his life. That's why Saul had all them demons on him. Saul had a lot of demons. David used to play the harp. He used to play the harp so that he would soothe Saul's spirit, because Saul had a lot of demons in him. That was the only thing that would soothe Saul to make Saul feel better was David. And Saul sought to kill David. You understand? He was wicked. He was wicked. He should have followed what God told him to do. All right. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen and of the fatlings and of the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, they destroyed utterly. See, he kept the good things, the high top things, but he destroyed all the things that was supposed to be that wasn't good. All the things that wasn't worth that very valuable. The Lord told him to destroy every damn thing. Destroy everything. But Saul did not do that. The Most High punished him with demons, man. All right. And eventually Saul lost his life. Okay. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel. Watch this. The Lord knew what happened. Verse 11. It repented me. Verse 10. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, in verse 11, it repented me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me and have not performed my commandments. Saul didn't perform his commandments. He spared the damn king. And he took the good stuff from them. He didn't have to do that. He was already king. And he was instructed by the prophet of God, Samuel. He was instructed by the Lord to utterly destroy the entire goddamn nation of Amalek. All the Amalekites. See, that's what should have happened. But now you got rabbis and all of them jumping up, taking our land, killing the Palestinians, stealing all the money out of every damn bank that you go to, charging everybody interest. All right. monopolizing the media, showing you that blacks, the only thing that blacks could do is sell drugs and a woman could be whores and kill each other. Okay? And the Lord sent the Salaki. Then Samuel said to Saul, Salaki. And Samuel said, when was little in thy own sight, I'm at verse 17, was thou made the head of the tribes of Israel, and the Lord anointed thee over king over Israel. See, he going back and saying, when was you set to be king over this? He was rebuking, like scolding Saul, man. He said, when did you become king? What happened then? Well, there was a big favor that was done to you. You became king. All right. When was that? All right. He had to go back on him. Okay. Verse 18. And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Verse 19. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but did fly upon the spoil and did evil in the sight of the Lord? See, that's what happened basically. That's what happened to Saul, you know, and that's the motive of gain and greediness. He was acting just like the Amalekites, trying to get money. Just like they say the Jews are greedy, always like that. Man, that's right. They got the diamond districts downtown and Canal Street. And every downtown section, they always got a spot with the precious gems and gold all over the place, hand over fist. All right. And every media in the film industry, in the rap industry, they got their hands on everything. And you can't get a dime. You can't get a grunted. And you bet not share anything to make the black nations, the blacks in America, the so-called Negroes, self-sufficient and independent. Don't let them get on Black Wall Street. We had many black millionaires. They didn't send a penny, damn near, not a penny, to anyone who needed, to anyone to build up, to make a bank, to make a hospital, to make a school, you know, to make anything, houses, farms. We still don't got nothing to this day. Damn near. All right. Now, I'm going to go to let's see. I'm going to go to Revelation. Go back to Revelation. No, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it with this. You know, the solution for our people, as always, I'm going to end it with this. I'm going to go to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. And I'm going to say this. As the scriptures reads, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. They're deporting our brothers. They're not desired. That means they don't want you. We've been in slavery for over 400 years. They damn sure don't want us. And we've been here this time. They had the Trail of Tears for the Indians, and they were smashing little babies, infants up in their skulls and busting them against the trees. They damn sure don't want them either. So it says for us, the solution also is to gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. And like I said in the beginning, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the Commander General YAHANNA out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And I'm Priest Officer 1000 Shadarak saying Shalom.